it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today's project is this one. This is one that I actually made during my Halloween series, but I have changed it up for Christmas. And it uses our test tubes, and it's a little holder, which, if I pop it that way, you can see better on the camera angle. And I finally, I've been looking for ages, found some sweets that I can put in the test tubes to sell at craft fairs, because in the UK you can't sell any food stuff that isn't pre-packaged, pre-sealed, unless you have a food safety certificate thing, and depending on which county and borough you're in, depends on how you get that. So I found these fizzers. They're Swizzles fizzers, and I found them at a local discount store actually, and they come in quite a large packet, and apparently they've been loved since 1928. But they do Parma violets as well, but on the basis that people either love or hate Parma violets, and I'm in the latter of those. I've gone for the fizzers, and they fit perfectly. They're possibly a wee bit short, but if you scoot the end out, so if I pop it that way around, they fill quite nicely. So I thought I would, as I say, do it for Christmas. I've used Let It Snow and the quilted Christmas paper for this one, and the Let It Snow is from the Merry Little Labels stamp set. I'm going to use Just For You for the next version, and the Christmas Round the World designer series paper. You would have seen me use the Nutcracker paper on previous projects. I love it, and it's a plaid on the other side, but I'm going to embrace the Nutcrackers again. So here we go. I have a strip of cardstock that is, so it's 2 inches wide and it's the full A4 length. Now you can, so I will, with your everyday label punch, you can actually punch and stamp the end off. So you can stamp and then punch the end off, which is what I'm going to do. So I've already mounted up my Just For You stamp. I need my copper embossing powder, which I very carefully put away. Let's get that out again. So, Versamark ink. My brain's not quite working today. Don't know why. So, Versamark ink, embossing buddy on the bit of cardstock that I'm going to stamp on, just to make sure that that is free from sticky fingerprints, and then hold it down so that I know it's got a good stick. And there we go. Oh, I have actually, I'm going to do that again because I've over inked and rocked. So we will do that again, and not. So let's not rock, eh? That would be a plan. That's better. So pop that to one side and I will clean that up later. Grab my copper, and of course I didn't use the embossing buddy on this side, did I? Okay. It's going to be interesting. Yep. Going to need to get my brush out, but that's fine. I actually quite like it when things go wrong, because then you can see how one fixes them. So this is a reasonably stiff paintbrush, and I'm just oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Don't know where. Oh, excuse me. And another one. There's something about if you sneeze 3 times you're catching a cold, so I hope that's not right, because I could do without a cold. Right, there we go. So yes, a reasonably stiff, clean paintbrush is jolly good at clearing up bits of embossing powder where you don't want them. So let's put the lid back on there and pop that to one side. Grab my trusty cheese board and my heat tool, pop that on there. Just helps keep everything together and stops my hands burning. So heat up my gun. I am planning on doing some stuff on the new stamping blends, but if you need information on those, sorry about the noise, I've got the catalogue on my website. So if you hop over to the over to my website, which is linked below, and just hit the tab that says catalogues, there's the new blends catalogue there ready for you as a PDF. So do have a look at those. They are gorgeous, and you can use them for all sorts of things, not just colouring. You can colour your gems and all sorts. So right, need that to cool before I punch it out, otherwise I will smudge the embossing. But isn't that just lovely? And this is Sahara Sand, which is sort of that colour there. Although it's not listed as a colour in the for this designer series paper, it's kind of there. Because I've curled my paper slightly as I've been heating it. Sort of central, there we go. Ooh. Come along, thank you. And then a piece of gold, which is not wide enough, so I'll do it this way. Not gold, copper foil. Just punch that out. While I've got my punch out, I just need to trim down my piece of cardstock. And this is one of those joyous projects where it's kind of not that important precisely how long this is, but it is about 9.5 inches. In fact, let's cut it at 9.5 inches, and I'll call it 9.5 inches, or 24 centimetres. So while I've got this out, I might as well use this for the scoring. So I am going to score at 1/2 inch, which I'll line up this side, I think. So there's the 1/2 inch mark. So that's just there. And then turn it round, and I need a 3.5 inches, which is there. 6.5 inches, which is just here on the arm. And that is the scoring done. Simple, huh? And that then just all folds up. And burnish that. And that will then sit like that. But we're going to dress it all up a bit first. I only actually need one of these pieces of designer series paper. And all I need to do is, it's 6 inches long, 2 inches wide, pop it into the scallop tag topper punch and punch. Don't need that anymore. And then this, oh, I need my scoring tool again, or my trimmer. This I am going to score 3/4 of an inch from the flat end. And just remember, you keep your cutting blade out of the way. You want your pale blade. So score 3/4 of an inch from that end, and 1.5 from this end, which is kind of here. It's not exactly important if it's a wee bit out. Take that out of the way. Then that will fold there, and that will fold there. And then to make the holes for your test tube, onto 3/4 inch punch, and just, I tend to line it up so that the fold is there against the edge of the punch, and then down at the bottom do the same thing, and try and get those so that they are in a line, and punch. And of course I've managed to punch away a face, but there we go. And then before I stick that on, I'm just going to add a piece of crumb cake classic weave ribbon to there. Bring in some, whoops, copper thread. I used shimmery pink ribbon before and white baker's twine, but because I'm going for this sort of slightly brown feel this time, I'm going to embrace the copper and then just tighten that up and tie it in a knot. We've got builders painting the house at the moment, so there are some noises off, for which apologies, but life goes on. And then just trim those ends off, get rid of that, pop that in the bin. Right, okay, that and that need to be stuck together, so let's do that now. Fast fuse, where are you? There we are. And you can see where where the original was, or where the mistake was. And I'm actually just going to run some fast fuse onto my foil, because I've got to stick it somewhere. I might as well stick it this way around, basically. And then they just cross over like that. And then that will stick on here. So run some fast fuse straight across the middle, and then pop that on, and you'll find that the straight edge of the punch goes just outside the designer series paper. So that's that. Then all we have to do is build the thing up. So fast fuse here on our little flap, and then that goes onto our base, and it's not a definite where it goes, just pop it there. Then more fast fuse on the flap at the bottom, and just across one bit at the top, which I might just do two. And then all we do is pop that so that it lines up at the bottom, and then bend this so that it lines up across the top. Stick it down and stick our test tube in, and it's as easy as that. So there you are, two little test tube holders with some sweeties that one can sell at craft fairs. So, oh, I know what I didn't put on there that I put out. I was going to add a little bit of red tinsel, the mini tinsel. I put the silver on the original, and I thought because there's red in the designer series paper, I would put red on this one. So just a short piece. This was actually the end of a roll, otherwise I wouldn't necessarily use quite that much. But there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you don't already, oops, that needs trimming. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, please do. It's a button, oops, button in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. If you want to make sure you see posts on my website as they go live, then you can subscribe to that. Just below the banner on the desktop version, you'll see there's a subscribe by email box. If you pop your email address in there, you'll get an alert every time I post. So I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, I will see you again hopefully tomorrow.